everybody, this is Samra from the Bridges. I do apologize for signing up late. I was having a lot of technical difficulty today, and I do apologize for being late. Today's topic is in reference to our health. Um, I wanted to kind of go over smoking as one of the leading causes of health conditions in our society and in our country. So let's just dive right into it, and we'll cover some highlights of this topic today. And the questions we're going to be asking today is, how does smoking affect our respiratory system, and who chooses to smoke and why? There has to be some underlying reasons why people tend to smoke. And what are the health consequences of tobacco use? How can smoking rates be reduced? And what are the effects of quitting? So those are the few questions that we're going to kind of go over real quick. We're not going to dive into a lot of nitty-gritty detail regarding this. So let's go over it. So smoking basically is preventable. It is a cause of death in this world. About 480,000 people die each year in the U.S. from tobacco use. And you know, sometimes we are thinking about cancer, and we think about other health conditions such as cardiovascular issues and all that. And so smoking is a big part of that, as a big cause of those underlying those health conditions. And now we're gonna just go over real quick. I'm gonna go over real quick what pertains to upper respiratory. It's your upper respiratory is your nasal cavity, it's your sinus, it's your mouth, and so on. And then your lower respiratory organs are your lungs, and they are your bronchia and bronchioles, and then they are your also what's called an alveoli. I'm sorry if my pronouncement is a little off from on this, but cigarettes contain about 4,000 compounds. Can you believe that? We'll think that it contains tobacco and then the paper that it's wrapped in, and then there's the filter, right? But that is not true. Cigarettes contain 4,000 compounds. 60% of those are carcinogens. What are carcinogens? These are substances capable of causing cancer. So there's the material and the makeup of a cigarette contains 4,000 compounds. 60 of those are carcinogens. The other one that we're very familiar with is nicotine, which affects both your central nervous system, and it also affects your organs as well. These can be found. Your nervous system are obviously found in. They're connected to your brain, and so nicotine can be found in the brain 7 seconds after smoking. It increases metabolic levels, and then it also decreases your appetite. And trust me, I know for a fact my father smoked all his life, and his appetite wasn't that great, and part of that was because he was smoking 2 packs a day. Anyways, what are the components in smoke that are dangerous? We have tars, which are water soluble residue, and those are categorized as carcinogens. We have the acrolein and the formaldehyde. Those are carcinogens as well. They cause cell damage. And then we have the nitric oxide and the hydrocyanuric acid, which is gases formed from smoking that affect oxygen metabolism. So we really do have to pay attention to this. Now, just not going too deep into this, but what is the history of tobacco? Ready-made cigarettes were mass-produced starting in the 1880s. Okay, so that's how far cigarettes go into history. Cigarette use, although was not as popular until the 20th century. And the reason for that is because of the world wars that we had. Smoking increased during World War One and the 1920s. That's when it actually kind of like gained popularity. The current rates of tobacco, highest rate of tobacco use was, excuse me, was in 1966. And in 1965, 42% of the people were smokers. 16.8% of adults are currently smokers from that time. More than 18.8% more men smoke than women. And American Indians have the highest rate of smoking. Asian Americans have the lowest. Older adults have low smoking rates. Low income people have high smoking rates. Those with low education level have high smoking rates. Who smokes, right? Smoking rates among young people. Ninth graders, can you believe that? For 8% of boys and 7% of girls have smoked at least once in last month. 12th graders, 8% of boys and 6% of girls are frequent smokers. So how do smoking start? It could be, peer pressure. Could be something that a person is introduced to socially. It could also be something that people see in their homes. So that's something as well. And why do people smoke? The biggest reason for people smoking is addiction. They smoke the most because of addiction. Also, positive and negative reinforcement. Optimistic bias is something that we tell ourselves, okay, yeah, smoking causes lung cancer or smoking causes cardiovascular disease. Hey, it's not going to happen to us. We have strong genes. My dad was a wrestler, or my mom was a athlete. She was a runner, or what have you. So optimistic bias is one of the reasons why people think that it's not really going to affect them, and so they keep doing what they're doing. Um, Cancer is the leading cause of smoking related deaths. The type of cancers caused by smoking are lung, lip, pharynx, your pharynx, esophageal, pancreatic, larynx, tracheal, urinary bladder, kidney, cervix, and stomach. Those are the leading causes, the types of cancer caused by smoking. Cardiovascular disease, as I've just kind of mentioned a couple of times, is the second largest cause of smoke related deaths. Cardiovascular disease risk is doubled for smokers. Chronic lower respiratory disease, emphysema, scar tissue, and mucus obstruct respiratory pathways, and air is trapped in the alveoli. Chronic bronchitis, formation of scar tissue in the bronchi. So those are some of the so scary, really scary. When apart from health issues, when research has been done, and it's found that other effects of smoking is fire caused by cigarettes, disease of various body parts like mouth, kidney, bladder, periodontal disease, like the gum disease because of that is caused by smoking, and injuries such as motor vehicle crashes. So that's what the research has found, and the other effects. Other effects for women. Now, women are more vulnerable to lung cancer than males, increased risk of fertility problems and miscarriages. For men, smoking makes men look older and less attractive, and increased risk of erectile dysfunction. We do need to emphasize on the different health impacts it has on the genders. There are some mental health issues that also arise due to smoking. 36% of mentally ill people are smokers versus 21% without any psychiatric disorder. 34% of people with phobic fears smoke. 60% of schizophrenics smoke, and depression also correlated to smoking. Now, we have different types of smoking. We are very familiar with cigarette smoking. We have pipe and cigar tobacco as well. And those, are found to be, those are found to differ a little bit from cigarettes, but it still contains carcinogens. Like my great uncle say, I smoke a pipe and I pack my own tobacco, and it's not laced with any chemicals and what have you. But it does have an impact on on one's body. Heavy cigarette smoking reduces life expectancy by 8.8 years. Heavy cigar or pipe smoking reduces life expectancy by 4.7. So it is half versus somebody who smokes cigarettes, but it is still there. Uh, we also are we also are aware of passive smoking. It's also called environmental tobacco smoke. It has been linked to lung cancer, breast cancer, heart disease, CVD, and respiratory problems in children. Smoke exposure increases risk of sudden infant death syndrome, and so especially households with little ones. Please take some time to research on that. Now there are other types. Yet there are other types of smoke, which is the smokeless tobacco, and we've seen some people put it on one side of their mouth and keep it there and chew. Adolescents, and then we have the vapes too. Remember the vapes, the new thing that came out. Adolescents who use smokeless tobacco are more likely than start smoking cigarettes, so they're more exposed to start to use cigarettes. How do you deter smoking? The foremost way, which is to deter smoking, is what we're doing today: education, information, education. But it just alone by itself will not deter people. There are more successful programs that combine information with building skills on how to refuse to smoke, signing pledges not to smoke, and then mass media campaigns may be effective as well. One other thing that I kind of found out through my research is that states where the tobacco prices are higher, there are lesser smokers. So government intervention is like imposing more tax on cigarettes, also helps in deterring people from smoking. How do you quit smoking? Currently, there are more former smokers than current smokers, and that's good news. Ways to quit without therapy? Cold turkey. Hey, that's it. I've got the willpower. I'm not doing it anymore. Pharmacological approaches such as Chantix or what have you, you have to consult your doctor on that. Behavioral intervention like positive or negative reinforcement, and community campaigns. We could do a campaign to quit smoking, in our neighborhoods, and also with our neighbor, extending onwards to our extended neighbors. Now, quitting without therapy. 44% of smokers try to quit each year, and 64% of those try so without treatment. Success rate is 60%, abstinence length around 7 years. I think that's pretty good. The first choice would always be your willpower. Look, I've decided I'm not going to smoke. That's it. Done. I'm cold turkey. I'll chew gum. I'll do something else. But I am not going to smoke. And the success rate is 60%. Abstinence length means going without smoking around 7 years. Quit smoking using pharma approaches, nicotine replacement gums, inhalers, patches. We're familiar with those. Drugs such as varenicline and bupropion are used to decrease withdrawal symptoms. Effective for many, but not for teenagers. That's a big thing, big point. Quitting smoking using behavioral intervention, cognitive behavior approaches, group therapy, contracts, behavior modification are all types of interventions that can be used. Most effective programs include both a counseling component and a pharmacological component. So it's maybe group therapy coupled with the nicotine patch, gum, what have you. Quitting smoking using a community campaign. Smoke-free workplaces have helped decrease smoking a lot, work-sponsored cessation programs with monetary or benefit incentives. I know that my employer offers that. So what they do is they have a free smoking cessation program. Also, if I sign up for that, I get like badges and things like that. At the same time, when I sign up for my health insurance through my employer, the rates for like me versus a smoker is much less. So if you're a non-smoker, it makes a difference. It's about 200 and some dollars in the plan that my employer offers versus someone who smokes has to pay that much more. So there are also other other approaches, such as there are helplines, websites, there's media campaigns, with and all so forth and so on. Who is less successful in quitting? Young smokers, women smokers, lower educated smokers, those abusing alcohol and other drugs. Those people are less successful in quitting. How do you prevent a relapse? Relapse is common, and 22% of people who relapse actually smoke at a higher rate after they relapse. And I know for a fact that is a given. My father, who used to smoke 2 packs of cigarette, had to have a heart bypass operation, and once he had that, he quit for a little while. But when he started back up, it started from 1 pack, going on to 2, and when he finally passed away, he was at 2.5 packs a day. One possible negative effect of quitting is weight gain. And I know we women especially struggle with that. We are always wanting to have our girlish figure. We prefer something that's a quick fix, like a keto diet, a quick diet, a quick pill that will help us reduce weight. And so that is why in the previously I mentioned that success rate of quitting is lower in women. Part of that is the notion that one will gain weight. Women gain about 6 pounds and men about 11 pounds after quitting. So, that is research. This information is based on solid research. So yeah, women do gain, but then you have to kind of think of the lesser evil. The weight gain can be put off, but the impact of smoking are way more severe. And that's how that is. Positive effects of quitting: reduces mortality by 36%. Quitting smoking by age 35 adds about 7 to 8 years of life expectancy. This was something I wanted to just kind of like go over with you guys real quick. It wasn't too much. It was just kind of like touching base on the impacts of smoking. We all have family members or friends that smoke. We all sometimes face peer pressure, which is, a couple of friends smoking. Hey, come on, have one with us, kind of thing. And we have to understand, we have to learn to say no, just as we teach our kids, and we have also learned about saying no to drugs. Cigarettes are not drugs, but they are kind of the same, as they have the same effect. It is definitely more addictive. It just like drugs, it has more health impacts, severe negative health impacts, and also the fact that cigarettes are so acceptable in society versus drugs that if someone's smoking and we're at a table and somebody's smoking, we're like, oh sure, go ahead, versus if somebody was sitting at a table with us doing drugs, we're like, oh my god, we got to stay away from this person. So that makes smoking much more easier and more transferable in terms of behavior, and more dangerous. So I know that I've seen a lot of campaigns out there, billboards, or maybe sponsored advertisements or infomercials on radio and TV, saying, showing that, you know, how bad smoking is. But I also feel that smoking, trying to have someone to deter from smoking, prevent them from smoking, or having them to quit smoking is more, starts more internally. Like a person has to have he has to be ready and willing to be able to do that, and he should have a support from family. Family and friend support is one of the biggest foundations for, for promoting, or helping someone quit a bad behavior. More than anything else, more than, you know, I don't like to say the pharmacological, from the point of view, such as, you know, Chantix, or anybody taking nicotine, chewing nicotine gum, or having a patch. Yeah, that helps too, but family support, friend support, peer support, that actually is the best. That is actually absolutely the best. I would love to post a link onto this. I will do that. I still am having some technical difficulties at my end, and I'm just grateful that I was able to go on today and present this very important topic, with all that's going on regarding COVID and everything else. We do need to think about this seriously. As we know, people with underlying health conditions are more susceptible to other infections. And then we are also running up against the flu season. Therefore, it is best. This is the perfect time, and it's never too late to start looking into quitting smoking, or to have a sit down and talk about how to deter young ones, young adults in the home, or like 8th graders, 9th graders, 10th graders, all that, to not be peer pressured or into smoking. I just want to, parting note, there have been some studies where it has been found that vaping has caused a lot of health problems for young adults, such as there's some people who've gone into coma. Some people have, chose to infuse their vape, which contain nicotine solutions, with other marijuana infused solutions, and smoke those, and then go into cardiac arrest or what have you. Those, we have probably all read those articles in the newspaper, and we've seen some of those health professionals come on TV, on news channels, and talk about it. So please, try to encourage your family member or a friend to quit, or not to think about it even, to start. Thank you so much for your time, everybody. You guys have a great Labor Day. I wish you the best.